I'm going to show a trade in my TradeZella dashboard, a trade that I took in December of 2024 that I held for about 2 weeks, and what that trade looked like. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to jump into TradeZella, and we're going to go ahead and give it a look. So now that we're in TradeZella, what I want to show you is really what the three white soldiers actually looks like. So let me go ahead and pull up the photo that I have here below. As you can see, three white soldiers is three consecutive solid green candles. Now I trade this particular strategy on the 4 hour. I also look for it on the daily. Typically, I like to use a top-down method where I'll look at the daily and confirm three white soldiers there. And then I'll look at the 4 hour and also confirm three white soldiers. That doesn't always match up, but I always take my trades specifically on 4 hour candles, specifically at 8 a.m. open or the 8 p.m. open. So really what I want to get into is really what this trade on GBP CAD looked like and what my entry was and where my exit was. So jumping into it, we had a nice downtrend going along here. And then we had a nice pop. We had created this lower low. We had created a higher high. And we had created a higher low. Now, typically when we create this higher low and we see the three white soldier pattern starting to play out, you can notice that it isn't exactly a textbook trade. Looking at this candle here, it did close bullish, but it almost looks like a candle where there was some indecision almost, but we still closed bullish. But on this third candle open here, I typically like to take the trade as the candle breaks above the previous 4 hour bullish candle, as you can see here. On this particular trade, I had put on initially 3 lots. And then in the next photo I will show you, the trade had moved about 10 pips and I added another 2 lots. For me, I like to add to my winners right away when I see the market moving in my favor. So that's what I did for this particular trade. But for my entry, it was because this three white soldier pattern presented itself. We'd made this higher high. We had made a higher low. And I don't want price to go anywhere below this area based on the candle closes. That's why my stop was a little bit tighter. But this is actually one of my favorite strategies that I've seen play out in the market time and time again. And that's why I entered on this particular trade. Now, jumping into how the trade played out, let me go ahead and bring that up. So this was a 2 week swing, excuse me. And as you can see, this is where we had entered on the trade. As time went on, as you see these horizontal white lines with price, this is actually where I started to trail my stops. And really what I mean by that is I had entered in this zone here, 5 lots total. And as price moved in my favor, and I noticed candle closes and price continued to make higher highs and higher lows, I slowly trailed my stop to make sure if price were to completely roll over, I would actually secure profit. And for me, typically, I like to wait about a week or so before I actually start to trail my profit. There are times if I trail too soon, I can actually prematurely get stopped out before the move continues in my favor. And in 2025, I'm looking for trades similar to what I had placed here. But this is a great trade. Typically, it's not as simple to manage these trades. There are times where we can come back into our entry and price can continue to move in our favor. This trade was a little bit more simpler to manage. And as you can see, very patient trailing my stops. Really what I look for on trailing stops is I want to see where price moved above the break of structure and actually closed above it. So for example, if I look at this trailing stop here, I can see we had a big green candle push to the upside. We closed above this break of structure. We broke structure, broke all this price action in this zone here. And really from there, I continued to slowly move my stops below that 4-hour candle. And as such, continued to do that as well. I should have an actual white line in this area as well, but I don't. But price continued to move up here. And as I continued to move higher with the market, I would still trail my stops and be patient. Right at this area at 1.8058 is where the market actually took me out. Price continued to chop around in this zone before actually, I don't have it on this photo here, pulling back into this imbalanced candle and actually pulling a little bit higher before starting to roll over a bit. So my whole thing is, I know I will never be perfect to capture the entire swing itself. However, I know I can grab a chunk of the move, and that home run winner will allow me to sustain future losses that come my way. So really, this is how I do like to swing my trades. I was really pleased with this trade. Um, in total, at the time of this trade, it had got up to about 14% on my account. This is a 100K funding pips account. I had locked in just shy of, I believe it was 13% on this trade. Originally, the account was at about 96K. I had incurred some losses before this trade. So that's why getting in at 5 lots was really where I was being slightly risk adverse to manage the risk and protect my downside, knowing that there's potential for a lot of upside, to make sure I keep the account and continue moving it in favor of making more profits. But yeah, overall, really pleased with this account, or excuse me, not this account, the swing trade here. And on the next video, I'm going to head and show everyone really what it looks like to start a swing trade and actually trail stops a little bit too soon, and how being impatient when starting a new swing can actually prematurely allow you to get stopped out before the move actually happens. But that's really a wrap up of this video here. Fundy Pips is a great prop firm that I've been working with since July 2024. If you are looking to join the prop industry and be a funded trader in 2025, I do actually have a 5% off voucher that you can use by clicking the link down below in this video or in my bio on X, as well as the link in this video on YouTube. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I'd be more than happy to help you out. But happy trading in 2025, and let's make this year profitable and successful.